Well, now to a new voice impacted by Operation Metro Surge. A Hmong woman in Minnesota legally who says she is fleeing religious persecution says she is now in hiding. This time it's from ICE agents who she says have detained her before. Heidi Wigdahl has her story. Heidi?
Julie, Thi Dua Vang came to the U.S. 2 years ago legally and is on a pathway to getting her green card. She has no criminal record. So when ICE showed up at her doorstep, she thought it must have been a mistake. But shortly after her detainment, she became afraid. Daily tasks like grocery shopping have come to a standstill for Thi Dua Vang and her husband, Apal Gian. A community member delivered these to help feed the family who is in hiding. On the morning of January 8th, their son opened the door to their St. Paul home, not knowing it was ICE. Agents detained Thi Dua, and by the next day she was taken to Texas, first El Paso, then later Houston. At one point, she believed she was in the process of deporting back to Vietnam before she was taken off the plane. Thi Dua and her family fled Vietnam after spending decades persecuted for being Christian. Family members have even been imprisoned for their faith. After more hardships as refugees in Thailand, the family found asylum in the U.S. 2 years ago with all the papers to prove it. But never did the family expect this to happen in the U.S.
After
nearly 2 weeks detained, a judge ordered Thi Dua be released on bond. As family drove to her, she spent nearly 3 hours waiting outside at night in a city she didn't know. Thi Dua says from being detained to now in hiding, it's her family keeping her hope alive. 5 days after returning, Thi Dua had to do a check-in with ICE but was then free to go. She says she's required to check in once per year, but since that check-in, ICE has come back to their home 3 times trying to make contact again, and I reached out to DHS to try and find out why, and I'm still waiting to hear back from them, Julie.
Wow. I mean, that's so, I do wonder why. And if we hear back, let's update that story, why they continue to come back to her home.
Yeah, and I also want to mention that she did lose her job as a result of this as well at a grocery store. And again, the family doesn't feel safe going outside. Their youngest son is also doing their schoolwork online, and they do have a GoFundMe for people, both because of this and also because of all the lawyer fees that have come with this as well.
All right. Thank you, Heidi.